Ever since I started streaming, I've told countless stories about my life. Some good, some bad, some that make my community and friends worried about my sanity and safety. But there's one story in particular that everyone just loves making me repeat again and again and again and again and again. So I figured, why not record it for everyone's viewing pleasure? So before we get started, three very important pieces of context you need to know. One, I'm asexual. In case you don't know what that means, to make it simple, I don't experience sexual attraction. And there are times where this has made me a little bit innocent. Yeah, we'll go with innocent. And yes, that is very important to know for this. Number two, uh, back in 2017, I ended up injuring my leg. So it never fully healed. And so I am always on the lookout for things that can help with the pain. You know, braces, massage guns, uh, any any new devices that could help with the knee. I try to get. It's almost like a collection of mine. And number three, I love spending time with my mom, or as I call her, Mombi. More often than not, we spend our time going thrifting. Goodwills, church thrift stores, estate sales, that kind of thing. If there's a deal, we tend to try to go find it. All right, so for this story, Mombi and I had stopped by a church thrift store on a whim. And we're looking around. I stepped away from her for a moment. And at the time of this story, massage guns were a huge thing. You know, the ones that have like the detachable heads and do the little like vibrations things against your muscles, and it was big around the time that we were doing this. And I found what was called a massage gun. On the box, it said massage gun, great for your back, great for your arms, great for your knees. And it even showed the massage gun being pressed up against the knee. Now, I hadn't had a massage gun yet, and I was very excited to try it. Plus, it was supposed to be like $60. It had like a little tag on it saying $60, but it was being sold at the church thrift store for like I think 10 at the most. It was a really good deal, okay? So I grabbed it and I went over and I found Mombi and I was like, look what I found. And she looks at it and she looks at me and she looks at it and she looks at me. And I'm like, it's such a great deal and it'll be great for my leg. And she stares at me and she stares at it and she stares back at me and goes, okay, if you really want it, go ahead and put it in the cart. And so I do. I'm like over the moon. We're exploring a little bit more. And once we get done, we go to check out. And the cashier, they're checking out all the stuff, you know, and they get to the massage gun and they look at it and they look at my mom. And my mom goes, she wanted it. And the lady looks at me. And I go, it's such a good deal. The lady looks at it and then looks at me and then looks at my mom and then looks at me and then looks at it. And you could tell, you could just tell that she wasn't really there. Like she was there, but she was just there to get her money. She was just there to get paid, you know, power to who you. And she just goes, okay. And she rings it up and she throws it in a bag. So great, we've got it. I'm happy. We head to the car. We get into the car. And then my mom, before she starts the car, looks at me and goes, Orbi, why did you get that? And I look confused. I'm like, what do you mean, why did I get it? Because it'll be great for my leg. And she goes, do you realize what you just got? And I kind of stare at her for a moment and I'm like, it says so on the box. It's a massage gun. And she looks at it. She looks at the bag. She looks at me. She does a little bit of a sigh and she goes, Orbi, you bought a magic wand. Obviously, because, you know, it's a church thrift store. which means that this stuff has probably been used anyways. I obviously never used it. And it sat on my bookshelf as a conversation starter for a couple of years before the batteries started leaking, and I had to throw it out. But yeah, that's the story of how I unintentionally bought a not safe for work wand, thinking that it would be great for my knee. I probably traumatized the poor cashier. I definitely traumatized Mombi.